Okay, welcome back everyone. So hopefully you've now learned about this new Venezuelan grandma that's making the news in Venezuela. So as Pauline mentioned in the introduction, Venezuela has a huge amount of oil. So it should be a relatively wealthy country. And in the past, the people there were actually really benefiting from this economic boost that this oil was giving to the country. But unfortunately, due to political reasons, so past President Hugo Chavez and the current president there, unfortunately, Venezuela is having a huge economic crisis right now because the money that came from this oil reserve didn't last and was really poorly managed. And in recent years, they've actually stopped mining so much. So just the production of the oil has also gone down. And so it's spiraled into a huge problem. And so this year, they are going to have a new presidential election. And the current president is seeking re-election. But because many people in the country are not doing so well these days, they really want kind of like a new political upheaval. They really want to see some change. And unfortunately, the leader of the opposition party has been disqualified. So it led to this problem of, well, who are we going to vote for? We don't want to vote for the current guy because he's politically corrupt. And we're clearly not living in a good situation right now. So the disqualified opposition party leader nominated Yoris. So this Venezuelan grandma, who is 80 years old, was the prime candidate for the opposition side for them to vote for. And so you might think, an 80-year-old grandma? What? Why? What is happening? So she was kind of like the Democratic side as a visual representation of the hard times that the elderly people in Venezuela are currently having, socially and economically. So because of the economic situation, many young people have actually left Venezuela. And so they've moved to either more prosperous parts of South America or to America. And then they are sending money back home for their elderly relatives or their family members that are still in Venezuela for them to live off. And so poor Yoris, she has watched her family move abroad and is now living, still living in Venezuela with the money that her family sends back. But she is having a hard life along with many other elderly people in the country. And so it was kind of this like rags to riches story where she was going to become the president, but unfortunately, she was not able to register for the presidential election as a candidate due to some rather suspicious reasons. A technology failure and roadblocks. So it seems kind of suspicious. Maybe the current president is up to no good.
Maybe, yeah.
Trying to stop her because he knew that she was a powerhouse who was going to steal the election from him. Yeah. So I guess we will have to wait and see who is elected and what the future of Venezuela is. But sadly, it will not be with our beloved Venezuelan grandma.
Oh, she's a president in my heart.
Yes. I think she was what the people needed.
Yeah.
But maybe in 4 years' time when they have their next election, she can try again.
Okay. Hopefully.
Yeah,
she's
right.
still
she
around.
Can rise again.
Yeah, right.
So right now, it is not a good time for Venezuela, but in the past, they did have a golden age where they had all of the oil money. So what period would you describe as the golden age of America?
Everyone always, they bring this up, oh, the golden age of America, and everyone has a different time, and then they'll say a different time period, and then other people will be like, but remember this and remember that, it wasn't so good. So I actually believe that we are living in the golden age. Despite, many difficult things that are happening, we have risen above more terrible things that we've, overcome. So I would say now. No, we're doing pretty good, even if people may not see it that way. I think we've come a long way, and it could just get better. All the problems are relative anyways.
I really wasn't expecting you to say that answer. I think usually if you ask many people from the UK, they would say post-war. Like when everyone came home from the war, everyone's houses were cheap.
Yeah.
Everyone was eating well, fashion changed, everyone was having like a million children. I think that would be the golden age of the UK if you asked many people. But I see your point too. I think that maybe the golden age is relative. We need to appreciate what we have right now. So, thinking about the elections, there's an election also coming up in the US this year. What do the candidates do to campaign?
Oh, what don't they do?
A lot of things, right?
Yeah. One of the funniest ones is that they get influencers to spread their messages. Yeah, they indoctrinate these youth, and so they'll just that's how they'll get their message across through TikTok. So that they know.
Maybe it isn't the golden age.
I'd like to retract that statement. That's how they get their word across. They get a lot of the youth or the whatever's trendy, and then they hope that they can get the votes by being the more trendy. Actually, we have grandpas that are. I was being shocked. I was feeling shocked by the Venezuelan grandma running for office, but I mean.
Trump, Biden.
Yeah, they're
grandpas too.
They could be great grandpas by now. So
it's true.
Well, how about in the UK?
In the UK, I think compared to Korea, we don't have those loud trucks with the campaign music and the dancing teenagers like trying to encourage people to vote. But our politicians really love visiting small like villages and towns and like knocking on people's doors just for the photo opportunity and like interviewing the locals, being like, what do you want from your government?
Do they kiss the babies too?
I have seen that too, but maybe not since COVID, but pre-COVID, baby kissing, yes. But I think compared to Korea, it's a lot more, I wouldn't say wholesome because I think it's just for the photo opportunity, but they seem to interact with real people a lot more, and that's shown on the news, and they seem to listen to people's like opinions more. Whether they listen after they've been elected is a different story, but at the time when they're campaigning, it seems that they like listening to the people's opinion a lot. So we hope that you enjoyed the article today. Hopefully you can cheer for our Venezuelan grandma in the future if she decides to run for presidential election again. Make sure you check out the vocabulary and try to use them in your everyday life. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Precipitate.
Precipitate.
Exodus.
Exodus.
Instigate.
Instigate.
Juncture.
Juncture.
Turmoil.
Turmoil.